All right. 3, 2, 1, and go. This is going to be Legend of Zelda Link's Awakening for the Game Boy. Not the Game Boy Color remake. The DX version has a lot of differences, and they patched out quite a few bugs. The mainstream category for this game would use the Game Boy Color version and ban out most of those glitches that are actually kind of fun to work around with. So it's kind of going to be quite different than what the most popular leaderboard would be playing.
And even if you do use the DX version, you have to have a certain before patch version of the game to get some of the glitches to work. He's doing a fun thing called, well, I call it breaking the game, but it's called screen warping. So he does this thing where he enters the side of the room and he hits select and pushes some other buttons and magic happens. Then he pops up on the other side of the screen and you use that to, right here, get the sword early, so that way you don't have to talk to the owl.
Yeah.
And listen to that really long, beautiful speech that we can't read anyway, it's in ignorance. But that'll be used several times to get either items early or jump between dungeons to get items before we actually have to go to fight the bosses.
Yeah, like right here, it's going to skip needing the bracelet. At some point when I get the screen warp, there we go. So you can get over to the cave here. And we're going to see this cave quite a few times. It's one room, it's not all that exciting, and the chest only appears once. But it's a convenient place. It's very easy to come here and find 3 enemies to kill, which sets up a trip into the Kennel World. Oh my gosh. Let me find the C button here.
Yeah,
there we go.
I have difficulty with it, but first couple tries was so cool.
That was way too early. And you want to be careful right there. I was pretty close to the trees there. But if you go thin through the doghouse backwards, it sends you to this lovely looking place. It's the Doghouse Glitch or the Kennel World. It's got a couple of different names, but I have to be sure to kill 3 monsters before I go in so that that staircase actually functions. For the rest of the game, I'm going to kill 6 monsters before I go in, and the number of monsters just changes which staircases work, which tiles you can walk through. The dungeon is very, very different every time you go in because of that. If we were playing the DX version, the Doghouse Glitch still works, but it works much, much differently in that treasure chests in the DX version of the Kennel World actually have items inside, which is very, very convenient. In this version, though, we're going to have to go running around a little bit more and actually find the items. Start off with a shopping trip to pick up the shovel and the bow and arrow.
I'm talking. Hello? Oh, okay, well. This is actually personally one of my favorite parts of the game because I like stealing from him and I like being called thief for the rest of the game. I just think it's just a really funny thing to do, and I love that he still sells to you. You steal from him and he's like, okay, you just come back and buy it and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's hilarious.
Are you proud of yourself?
Yeah, are you proud of yourself? You're now labeled as a thief. And now everybody in the game, instead of the name you give yourself, you're called thief now. It's pretty great.
Oh, get back here. Now, since I'll be going out of bounds quite a bit and going to places unintended ways, I do want to point out that one of the only restrictions on this category for the 100% category is that you cannot duplicate items. So when, even if I'm picking up a chest and it looks like I'm there out of bounds or I'm in a glitchy room, the chest still counts as whatever chest, as the same chest it was in its original placement. So when I go get a seashell from a chest that's normally in Dungeon 1, I'm going to get there leaving from Dungeon 8. But if I go check that room in Dungeon 1 at the very end of the game, the chest will already be open.
So do we want to go ahead and talk about what's different because of the donation incentive?
Yes, actually. As a matter of fact, as of about... Oh, let me line this jump up. Yeah, I was going the wrong way there. That's about even just 9 hours ago. When I ran this category as a 3-heart run, it required a little bit of extra backtracking because Link's Awakening is not one of those Zelda games that naturally lets you do a 3-heart run. The game will actually not let you move on until you pick up a heart container after you finish a boss battle. Somebody very dedicated made a nice ROM hack for the DX version that changes the boss room so you can actually advance and do a proper 3-heart run. But since nobody but me apparently plays this version, there aren't those kind of ROM hacks available for it. And that's what I ended up spending most of my time in the room last night doing, was patching the game out. So I'm actually going to be able to pick up all the heart pieces, all the heart containers, everything like that. But it's not going to add to my maximum heart count. So we're going to pick up 100. We're actually going to pick up 100% of the items. We're not going to skip anything for the sake of staying at 3 hearts. It'll be an actual 100% run. Now I'm going to go fishing here.
Oh boy, let's go fishing.
Yeah, I usually do it before I go get the boots, and I totally forgot.
Gotta go fast. Gotta get those dash boots.
Bonk.
Ah.
We should keep a bonk count going.
Yeah.
It's really hard sometimes not to bonk, especially when you're kind of get really close around corners.
Now, Link's Awakening was the first game in the series to have a fishing minigame. It's obviously not nearly as complicated as it is in other Zelda games. Ocarina of Time comes to mind. The fishing game there and the speedrun, I think, can be pretty notoriously difficult.
Yeah, it's pretty.
That time. But I just wanted the big fat fish that's underneath of Link, because he has a piece of heart inside. And then if you save and quit out of that text box, it lets you move around freely, and you get a couple of free rooms of movement by breaking through the boundary. Yo, menuing. There we go. There we go. Now this will be the last trip through the Tunnel World for a little while, at least. We're going to go pick up the flippers. In between the flippers and the bracelet and Rock's Feather, you can explore anywhere you want to in the game. We could go do anything we please, but I'm going to stick to reverse boss order here.
Thought I saw somebody saw Marin there for a second. Thought I might be wrong.
You may have the sprites in the Tunnel World kind of get pulled out of pretty crazy places. Okay, there we go. And you can see you'll sometimes carry sprites with you when you screen warp, so you have to be careful not to pick up too much lag as you go around.
Zunkaroshi in the chat is asking, is there any reason for Japanese version?
For the same reason you usually play the Japanese version, there's less text, it goes by a little bit faster. If you have a 1.0 version, a 1.0 version rather, of the English version and the Japanese version, the glitches and all work exactly the same. I think even the Doghouse versions work exactly the same. The only thing that's changed is the text.
So it's text speed, basically.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. And then here we're going to show off, when you play this game casually, especially when you play it, when it first came out and the Game Boy was the hip new cool thing, it plays like a very, very long game with, a pretty big map. But the game's actually programmed onto 4 16x16 maps, I believe it is.
Mm-hmm.
And that's in order to save on space so that they don't have to create a separate map for each of the dungeons and every cave system that's in the game. So if you're able to break through the walls one way or another, you can take advantage of the fact that rooms that are not really next to each other in game progression might actually be right next to each other in game data.
And that's how you're able to clip into the doghouse and warp to different dungeons and get all your awesome items in a really cool way.
And you can leave from the Ocarina Shrine to Crazy Trucy's house there to pick up the potion very early, which is nice when you only have 3 hearts to work with.
Bless those potions. Thank you, Crazy Tracy.
That bat is just sitting there waiting for me to...
Oh, yeah. He's going to try to get you.
Here's the... Yeah, good. See, we finished.
Oh!
That's all right.
So sometimes when you jump onto a ledge, you can really quick try to use the boots and run up, and you will sometimes catch it just enough that you won't fall off. You'll actually stay on the platform. So sometimes it's really just about where you land on the platform.
Right on top of me. I'm going to go right by the Dungeon 1 key here, and we're going to pick that up later. It'll be easier for me to skip the text box there. Alright, I'm going to make my way to Dungeon 8, though. Get over the corner here. You can see if screen warping isn't a frame-perfect trick. But you'll see sometimes when I screen warp, Link won't move. Sometimes he'll move actually quite a bit. And if I'm trying to screen warp through... I better just take this slow. Here. If I'm trying to screen warp through what might be a solid wall, you have to get the timing pretty spot on. So Link stays right on the edge of the screen. I walked right into him. He would not turn up those stairs. Yeah, now I know I used it early. I can pick up 1 extra chest and go grab another one if I need it.
Time to burn things.
Woohoo!
Yeah. But let me go back outside for a second. Rather than go through the whole dungeon. Go right back in, the same way we came in. And talk a little bit about super jumping. If you get a wall clip, get nuzzled right up against a wall that has a jumpable cliff on top, you can jump and slash away from the cliff, and the game will think you jumped off of the top. It'll give you a little bit of extra distance on your jump, so you can get through that screen transition here. You're right to Hothead. Oh, nice.
Nice. That was lovely.
Yeah, his hit points are kind of funny sometimes. I've actually seen somebody just sit here, mash, just hit him, just get him stun locked there, and underflow the hit points and despawn the boss and not actually get the victory or anything for it. The spike just went poof, and that was it. You were just soft locked there.
This game does funny things.
Oh, yeah.
That's the beauty of it.
Yeah, the way I used to run this, as of this morning, was I'd go there, I'd defeat Hothead, and then I'd save and quit out, so I wouldn't pick up the heart container, and then I'd go back to Hothead's room and use a fire rod glitch to make him disappear, so I could get by him and go get the instrument. So not only does the patch here save time, it also lets us actually do a 100% run while staying at 3 hearts. What on earth?
Oh, he turned the projector on.
Okay.
It makes a kind of weird noise, but it's okay. It's not going to blow up, I promise.
It was my feather.
Bomb arrows are the bomb. Haha.
Yeah. See, now this is the seashell in Dungeon 1. And again, I got here out of bounds, not from Dungeon 1 at all. I'm getting this seashell, not going the way I'm supposed to either. But if I took the time to go to those rooms in bounds, those chests would still be open. So we're not duplicating any items there.
One of my favorite parts about opening chests in this game is that you don't need the text to confirm you have it in your inventory. You can actually just go ahead and save and quit once you pull it out. So I think that's really cool.
Yes, you do not want to do that on rupee chests in the Japanese version, though, because the text is just that quick.
Yeah.
But
it just gives you you've got so many rupees and counts them. Items tell you what they do, or they're like have 2 or 3 text boxes.
Now here again, we're going to take advantage of the fact that the game is, the map is not built the way that it's played. And I'm going to use a super jump to get over to the left-hand side here and get to the second room to get an inventory upgrade. We'll see. We'll run into this guy 3 times in a normal playthrough, and he'll curse you by making you carry twice as much ammo as you could before. It's a very terrible curse. I don't know why you'd ever want to do that to somebody.
It's a blessing and a curse. I was always really confused about that when I was a kid and played this. I was like, am I really cursed, though? Like, thanks, dude.
Do I have time to read a donation?
Absolutely.
Okay. First off, I want to say that Garl's in chat, and he says, that's my Mog. But seriously, though, we do have a $5 donation from Lord Pantyhose. It says, this goes towards the X6 Extreme Difficulty Incentive, hyped for today's schedule.
Oh, yeah.
I did. For whatever reason, the top right corners of the forest there can be picked up and thrown as gems. They missed that one in testing. And if I don't go and learn Marin's song right now, I'm going to lose 3 minutes having to go the long way to get it later. Since I screen warped in, though, Marin has
She's a goblin.
changed a little bit.
She's a goblin. She's a very pretty goblin. And...
Welcome to Link's Awakening. Stealing.
Two separate halves of the... Yeah.
And the fun thing is when she is a goblin, it turns up and down, not side to side like she does, because she usually just swings side to side and sings a song. But this time she's a goblin and she goes up and down.
But because of the way that the event triggers work when you do reverse boss order, if I don't learn the song right now, it will not even give me an opportunity to learn it until I clear Dungeon 2. And I have to go the longest possible way to do it. I have to actually go all the way to the beach
to
find Marin, drag her over to the walrus, let her talk to the wall. It's
you gotta woo her to get her to do stuff for you.
Yeah. But the one consequence of getting the song early is I only make one trip to the animal village, so I'm going to be getting rid of my shovel pretty early. Which is why I made an extra trip to go get like the Dungeon 3 key and a couple other seashells as well while I still have the shovel. Yep, another curse.
He does it 3 times. He no, every time you go to one of his shrines and you put the powder in, he's like, oh, who awakened me, and now I'm going to curse you by making you carry more powder. Ha 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 ha.
Yeah, you get one for the bombs, you get one for arrows, and you get one for your magic powder.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. I thought, when I was a kid, I thought that he was going to kill me because I did the thief thing. And I was like, oh my god, am I going to die again? Yeah. And I was like, oh no. And then he gave me more stuff, and I was like, am I really losing out here?
Yo, that's not the boots. Those still aren't the boots.
Don't manhandle our audience.
Yep.
Don't manhandle our audience. When do you get the hook shot? Is that coming up next, or?
I didn't hear, I'm sorry.
Oh, I said when are you going to get the hook shot thing.
The what?
The little hook shot thingy.
Oh, no, we're going to skip... Uh-oh. Hold on, wait. Oh, no, we're good. We're good. It's found me in a friendly place. Yeah, if you're trying to screen warp through rooms and you're standing on a cracked tile, it will not reset the counter in between. But if you go and you screen warp and you go out of bounds, you can get the Dungeon 7 key this way, rather than try to hover around this. There are a couple of ways to do it. You can use the hook shot to jump off of thin air. You can also use... I got the boots on already. Look at that. You can also use the magic mushroom in the Game Boy version to do the same trick. You kind of jump, and then you hit the mushroom button to hold it over your head. And the game gets a little bit confusing. It gives you a couple of 3 seconds of movement, so you can try and jump again, and so on and so forth. It's definitely the hardest trick in the run if you're not going out of bounds.
Gotcha.
And then you can see here the Game Boy Color, with all the extra colors it can give the sprites, kind of rats out that enemy there.
Oh, yeah.
That gem doesn't match up. I think there's something fishy going on there.
I wonder what this is.
Yo. Here we go. The ocarina is awful in the menu. I've heard it's equivalent to trying to menu with the bottles in Link to the Past, which I hear can be quite annoying. Every time you just so much as highlight the ocarina, it opens up a separate menu for you. It blocks your movement for a little bit. It's just frustrating to deal with.
And it's very awkward too. So like if you accidentally highlight it, you have to get out of it and then get back to where you were going.
Yeah.
So it's probably easier to usually just keep it. I keep it at the bottom if I can, away from all my other stuff. I can't imagine what that little tile on the floor does.
Yeah.
How do we get in there? What does it do?
I wanted the bracelet there. That's alright. Oh man, he ran the other way. Usually he'll jump into me and have to dodge him. But Dungeon 7, we can use the canola to get into Dungeon 7 as well, but if you don't open the front door, when you beat the boss, it's going to leave you in the middle of a brick wall that you can't move out of. So you kind of have to open the door first, or bring the ocarina with Song 2. And, up in this corner, a little early. I've been a little early still, yeah. I will run into a couple of cameos here. You can see Kirby and Goomba. I will see Paragoombas. We'll see most of Wart as well later, and that's going to be a fun experience when we get there.
Yeah.
We're not going to run into them in this playthrough, but Luigi is also in the game, as well as Princess Toadstool. I think they call her Princess Toadstool in this one.
I think so, yeah.
And even Richard, who usually is the one who helps you find the Dungeon 3 key, even he's from another game, but that game only got a Japanese release.
Yeah, he's the one where he asks you to find all of his feathers in his castle because the monkeys kicked him out. I think it's the monkeys did it.
Yeah, something like that.
Because you have to go give you have to do like a little side quest thing. You have to get the bananas to the monkeys, and to get the bananas, you have to get dog food and give it to the alligator dude. He gives you bananas, and to get the dog food, you have to do something for the girl to get the bow. She gives you the dog food in exchange, etc., etc.
Yeah, it's a very long
it's
trading process.
Side quest to get the magnifying glass.
Yeah,
and
especially since some of them are kind of blocked off. Their areas are blocked off until you finish certain dungeons to get certain items. So.
Yeah, and I'm already in the boss room, so I've already missed talking about how dungeons. It's all right. Dungeon 7 is one of the longest, most frustrating dungeons in this game. You're supposed to find this big wrecking ball, carry it around the entire level, and go knock down 4 support pillars to collapse the roof in, so you can get up to where we are now. But if you screen warp out of bounds, you can cut through the walls and get to the rooms that you want to be in without having to actually do any of that. Even if we were playing a no out of bounds category, there is a skip for most of the pillars, but it's not nearly as quick as cutting through the walls.
There's definitely a lot of backtracking, a lot of walking around the same places quite a few times. And if you mess up and drop the ball somewhere you're not supposed to,
yeah, you have to go and find it again. If you fall in, you get kicked back to the bottom floor. It's frustrating.
It is, definitely. Especially since it's not just putting the iron balls anywhere. You have to unlock lots of doors to move the iron ball, so it's a very lengthy dungeon.
Now, this big room is full of just water, so if you land here, you're probably suspicious that something might be hidden there anyway. The next piece of heart, I have no idea how you're supposed to ever imagine that anything would be in that room hidden under the water, other than you're literally just exploring everywhere and anything. Probably because you're missing the last piece of heart and you have no idea where it is. One more. And then you'll see on the bottom left... Oh, I was a little bit too high. On the bottom left corner here is this little patch of grass that leads absolutely nowhere, but it's a walkable tile, which makes this section a lot easier to deal with.
It was intended as just decoration, but we can use it.
Yep. And that piece of heart is right here.
This was actually one that I never could find.
Yeah, I don't know where... Now I have to get a screen warp while swimming here, and swimming just changes the physics just enough to make this a little bit more fresh. There we go.
It's just like a slip and slide. It's so easy to just, you tap it just a little bit and you'll go so much further. And there's the monkey you have to give the bananas to for him to unlock the bridge there, so you can go get the
Yeah,
leaf
he'll call his monkey buddies to build a bridge, and there'll be one stick left over. Then you use the stick to knock down a honeycomb.
And then you go give the honeycomb.
It's a pretty
to the
epic
dude.
trading sequence, to be fair.
You give it to the bear in the animal village, I think, and then he gives you, I think he gives you the parchment, maybe, to give the old man.
Pineapple.
Yeah.
The pineapple.
Pineapple.
Okay, that's what it is, the pineapple. And then you give the pineapple to dude to eat, and then he gives you paper, I think. You give it to old man, he writes a letter. The old man gives you the broom, you give the broom to the old lady. And I think she gives you something, I don't remember what it is.
Ooh.
I think that's how it works. Somebody can correct me if I'm wrong, but
The other thing is, it is actually not required at all.
no, it's not. It's just
No.
a fun little, really long.
You know what? I think it's actually acquired to a point, isn't it?
To get the, I mean,
The
yeah, to
trading
get
sequence, yeah.
the magnifying glass, yeah. The rest of it is pointless, though. It's just exchanging items. Most of the games have like little side quests for stuff like that. I always loved these tall elephant tile statue things.
Yeah, this is a.
I
nice
never
thing
understood why they
out of.
picked elephants. That never made sense to me.
Though I'm so glad those chess pieces there are not part of any speedrun anymore. They're just pure RNG. You have to get them both to stand up. And if I'm not gonna get the.
You have to.
I'm gonna lose the cycle here thanks to being stuck in the wall there for a second. We'll see. We'll see. No. Yeah.
Dang. I was close.
Let me put my shield on. You can usually get 3 hits on this guy before the fight even starts. When you come in through the front door, you have plenty of time. When you come in through the side, you have a little bit more work to do. Yeah,
Sounds like a rabid animal.
Yeah. I see. Check.
The
Make sure I'm
triangle.
not missing anything.
Sorry.
No, you're fine.
I can hold it up if you need to.
Nah.
Okay.
Just gotta remember to close the text box there. 6. Yeah, 10 shells. I'm okay. We only pick up 20 seashells and then train them in for the level 2 sword. There are actually 26 seashells in the game. But as far as 100% goes, when you pick up the 20 seashells and get your level 2 sword, the rest of the seashells just go away. They turn into rupees, so there's no more seashells left to get. So if I were to skip a seashell, there are a couple of backups I can use to still get the 20.
Yeah, the seashells don't actually count towards your 100%. The sword does, though. So you just pick up.
That might be the right way to look at that, yeah.
Because the rest are just extra and they just give you fun amounts of rupees. So another thing with where he jumped there and clipped to the edge, it's one of those are actually, you don't have to use the boots. If you clip really close enough and mash and hope you get it, you can just go right over without the boots.
And you saw how easy it was there on that screen. I got it the first try. Just keep that in mind later on. Just remember, I'm actually good at jumping over 2
Yeah,
tiles.
it takes
because,
practice.
Yeah, and later on I'm going to probably fail 3 or 4 times in a row when I go back to the maze. But just remember that moment if that happens. Yep. And it would not be a Zelda speedrun if there wasn't some kind of trick involving bombs. We're not going to go flying around the map or hover or anything like that. We are going to skip most of the trading sequence here. That was not... Yeah, alright, good. That was the bomb trigger glitch. You have to drop 2 bombs in a 4-frame window to pull the trick off, and for whatever reason, that tile counts as a bottomless pit. So the game just lets me spam dropping bombs there. It makes it pretty easy to do. And when you do the bomb trigger glitch, the game will just start playing whatever fun little cutscene is supposed to happen on the screen. So unless you're playing 100%, you don't pick up the ocarina at all. Anything that would require playing music will just be skipped with bombs. What is going? There is quite a reunion going on in the back.
They're having a moment. They've been separated for a very long time.
Yeah, Rabid Pixie has now entered the building.
This is actually one of my favorite dungeons for the way it looks, the Catfish's Maw.
Oh yeah.
And I think some of the things inside are really quirky because you obviously get the flippers before this to get here. So this is actually a dungeon filled with a lot of water. There's a lot of cool things with.
Temple.
Yeah, I mean, this is the dungeon temple of the game. So it's actually really cool. It's not obnoxious. It's just some swimming.
Yeah, not as bad as Dungeon 4. Dungeon 4 is.
Oh yeah.
Oh. Okay, good. I'm going to take advantage of another little. I don't know if it was a shortcut in programming. I'm not sure the right way to word it. But for whatever reason, the game only keeps track of one possible item drop per room. The only possible item that can ever drop in this room is this small key that's about to appear. If I screen warp to the left, the room on the left, the only item that can drop here is the hook shot. So if there's an item on the screen, the item must be a hook shot as far as the game is concerned. So I can pick up the hook shot without fighting any of the mini-bosses. And as an added bonus, I haven't picked up any items from this room yet still.
So it still
there's
counts.
Still an item to drop here. I can get the small key back. Which is good because you can't get out of the lobby without a small key, and that's the only one you can get to.
There are 3 other chests in this dungeon where the dude leaves a note and he's like, haha, I've stolen the item in this, and it's the hook shot. So you fight the mini bosses, or I personally feel it's one dude, but you fight him 4 times and you get the hook shot. But since he did his little screen jumping, he didn't have to do that. Which he's actually really annoying.
Now I've already got the hook shot, but the boss is still there, so you can get. There we go. You might notice the menu lagged there just a little bit.
Really pushing that hardware there.
Yeah. What's actually going on there is if you open the inventory the same frame that you shoot the fire rod, the game will just get stuck on the instruction of I have to draw a fireball on the screen. So it'll just keep drawing fireballs until it just literally can't draw anything else. And if you change rooms at that moment, it can't draw anything in the next room either.
I don't like this boss though. He's very annoying.
Yeah, I can't remember the name of this boss off the top of my head, but it's entirely RNG, as you might imagine. I can only really... I missed the swing. This is going to be a 3 cycles. You can only really cover 2 corners at a time. And he takes 8 hits. Even if I had the level 2 sword and a piece of power and used spin slashes and went all out to max my damage, it would take 8 hits.
Regardless, it's a hit trigger. It's not a power, like a health bar or anything. Yeah, the earpiece is really annoying.
It just... I don't know whose head it's made for. It's just not made for my head.
It's not made for anybody's head. Don't feel bad.
I think it's made for people with 1 ear.
Maybe, possibly. It's also have the 2 hooks to balance it, so way it doesn't slide off your ear if you move your head that way. But
oops. I should have wrong button there. Oh, I missed the ceiling there.
Let me know when I have time to read a donation.
Go ahead.
Okay, we have a $5 donation from Ultima Mantoid. It says, let's start the bid war name Dogmobile. Let's start the bid war to name Dogmobile 2 for the speedrun of Mega Man Sprite game. Here's $5 to name the dog after the developer. Splendid lad.
cool.
Yeah, just a reminder that there are 2 incentives yet to be met. Mega Man X6 Extreme.
And then there's actually 2 for the Sprite game. There's 1 to play the second one, and then there's 1 to name Dogmobile. So those are still going on.
And for Team NT, you can add 3 extra players to the run.
Oh yeah, that'll be fun.
Yeah.
If we meet that, that'll be that'll be really interesting.
I believe it's going to be Hype Man, Pixie, and
Vesper, and I guess whoever else wants to join. It was originally supposed to be Garl. I volunteered him for that, but he's not here, so it has to be somebody else now. So where he just came from, you saw a like a fin or a scale on the ground.
That's rip.
Ooh.
There's
First rip.
the enemy that I could see before, I can no longer see because I've actually come through the front door there. I'm gonna write it on.
Oh, there's a
See,
scale
that
in that
guy.
other room where he is supposed to give it to a mermaid out there, and it continues a sequence of other really annoying mini things you have to do. It's just there's the main one to get the magnifying glass, but there's other small things you have to do for people. So there's like a couple things going on at once. That's what he skipped in there. That's originally what those statues are for.
Yeah, and
That was a boss?
You can go in the cave without moving the statue, but you'll see that the way that they've programmed it, the lens of truth isn't actually there until you trade the scale into the statue, which is just fine because if you don't move the statue when you leave the cave, the statue's right on top of you.
That
You cannot move.
that boss he skipped. There's a big giant worm jerk that comes
Yeah,
out of the ground.
I think that one's the Landmala.
I just call him a jerk. I don't like to call him by his name because I've fallen down way too many times to be nice enough to call him by his name. But he drops that key for you.
Yeah, you can hit him even when he's underground as long as you have arrows or the fire rod. So I can save and quit that early. There we go. And do not forget, I gotta come over here. And it's a little bit out of the way, but it is the closest seashell out of the ones we get to choose. Grab a seashell here in the corner.
Some of these seashells are really out of the way, and you can see them on the map, but you have to go a really long way to get to them. So
Yeah, and you actually can get 2 free seashells if you go to the little booth when you have exactly 5 or exactly 10 seashells. But it requires backtracking quite a bit, and the animation to get it is very long, so we just skipped those as well.
it has a count meter on the side, and the meter goes up, and once it hits that certain amount on the meter, it goes, hey, you have so many, here's a free one. Like you said, at 5 and 10. But he will have to go back there anyway to get the level 2 sword when he has 20.
Right.
So you'll still see it regardless. But that just skips having to see it twice. It would make it shorter if he did go there the 2 other times, but it's still so much more time consuming, so it's okay to just do it in one trip than 3.
Yeah. Now, I'm getting ready for another trip into the kennel world here, so I have to get my monster count up to 6. When you use the fire rod, that's perfectly okay. You just want to make sure the sprite actually disappears. Otherwise, it doesn't count. And if you miscount going into the kennel world, where am I going? Dungeon 4? Dungeon 4. If you miscount how many you have, some of the bad kennel worlds are safe. They'll let you save and quit and go back out, and you can try again. Some of them will permanently trap you in the kennel world if you save and quit, and it's a multiple-minute process to maybe get out. Now, here we are in Dungeon 4. We were already here earlier. If you, I completely messed that. Let me try that. No, that's all right. You can get a quick dive there if you're a little bit more consistent with it than I am. But we're already done with Dungeon 4. We just go right to the boss. We don't need the Nightmare Key because we used the kennel world to get here, and we already got the flippers.
Cool thing is you don't have to open the door to spawn the boss. They're actually already in there, so
Yeah.
that works that way. That's a cool thing about a lot of things in this game. You don't require certain triggers. You don't have to let the text box go or open certain doors for other components to trigger. You just have to go in there. They're already spawned. So I think that's really cool.
Alright, should be at 16. Yeah, we're good.
So I'm assuming with all the screen jumping, we'll be skipping getting the precious Bao Bao.
Oh, yes.
Oh man, I love Bao Bao.
Oh, here we go.
Now, if you time your sword slash just right when you're in the area here, you get the chance to wiggle Link around a little bit during the cutscene. it saves you that many pixels of movement. It's not a big save. But it's easy to do.
I made a weird face, but I don't care. I derp for every picture, so.
Do I have a potion? No. I'm gonna pick up another potion since I'm here. Just gotta make sure I got enough rupees for it. Yeah.
If I'm not mistaken, doesn't the amount you need for the potion increase every time you go to her? I can't remember.
I don't know what the trigger is, but yes, it is supposed to increase throughout the duration of the game. What it might actually increase with is your heart count.
Yeah,
so that might be an advantage for this category.
Right. It might actually stay the same for the duration.
Right.
Which actually helps out because you do get some rupees, but it keeps you from having to farm them.
Yeah. Dude, I know it's a little thing and it's definitely not convenient, but if I have the boots and the feather backwards of how I like them, it just changes the whole way I play it.
Just so everyone is aware, we did take a picture for the day 2 hype. I'm assuming you all saw the giant fist in the air.
And my derp face.
We didn't wave them like we just cared, though, you know. But anyways, that's going on the Twitter page, and if you want to see what that picture looked like, it's pretty funny. Just head on over to our Twitter page at SpeedrunningXPO.
Ask to borrow a phone. Request to see the picture.
Hold on.
And we were already in this maze earlier, but now I'm actually here, do what I came to do. I don't have the shovel anymore. That's really and this, that.
Dang.
Remember what I said earlier? I can't actually jump over these 2 tile gaps. I'm gonna have to put the boots on like this jump. For whatever reason, I can't figure that jump out. There's nothing difficult about the jump. It's the same jump as on the other spot. There's nothing different about it. I don't got it.
Positioning yourself on the ledge. It's really.
I don't got that one.
This is weird. It's a weird jump.
We're gonna go out of bounds here.
I can't do them on the fly. I have to position myself. So I mean, it is kind of wonky.
And of course, I only got 3 hearts, and that's intentional damage there. So we're back to the beeping.
At least I like the beeping in this one because it's not too overpowering.
Yeah.
It's not like it kills your eardrums. It's still enough that it's like, hey, you're gonna die, but not overpowering the music. So I think that's really, really cool.
Now, Wart's room is to the right of this room right here. But if I go to the right from there, the game will just freeze. I have to come in through the top. If you look in the top left corner, though, there's a cracked tile there. I will fall through during the cutscene and die and lose my 300 rupees and not get the song.
Yeah, if you guys are like light sensitive, epileptic, be careful of this one. There's flashing. Please look away now.
I did post a warning in the Discord about this. So.
Yeah, but I just want to let anybody know that's watching right now. If you are epileptic, light sensitive, look away. But for this, actually, he passed the maze. It's really close to Richard's Villa. You have to follow signs, and you have to wait till you get the hook shot to actually do this. So it's actually much later in the game. Obviously, since he clips through, he doesn't have to do that. It's actually really tedious because if you mess up once, you have to start all the way over.
Yeah, and here's the signpost. You can see all the different signs, and first one is that one right there, I believe.
Mm-hmm. It is that one starts
and,
it out.
It just all it really tells you is an arrow, and you just follow the arrows, go signpost to signpost to unlock the staircase down in that room. I didn't open this up earlier.
But once again, like most other things in the game, you don't actually have to use them as a trigger to spawn it. It's already spawned, so you can just click in there.
That's not the bracelet. Yeah, we'll get this key. Hold on, you know what? I got half a heart. I'm not gonna get that key. We'll come back. We'll open the door up again.
So the guy he just crashed into in that room, he actually is a vacuum warp. He it sucks you in, and some of them push you away, some of them suck you in. No, 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 no. Ah. Dang.
I do not like that room. For whatever reason, until like a couple of days ago when I remembered that other small key was over there, I thought I was always clearing out that room to get the small key there. That room was a lot of fun if you used the boomerang, and it boomerangs all the bombs back onto you.
Mm-hmm.
That's great. And I need it.
And you can never tell what you're supposed to do with that arrow on the floor. Like, it's
yeah,
not obvious at all. Like.
Not at all. That is, you can wedge yourself between the corner there using a flock skip. When the text box shows up to tell you that that's a really weird looking block and you should probably do something about that, it gives you, I think, 1 frame of movement, or maybe it's 1 pixel of movement, but it's just enough to wedge you in between the corners so you can keep going there.
Mm-hmm. You're supposed to collect 3 keys to unlock them, and they're in various parts of the dungeon.
Yeah, this is the Key Cavern, I believe is the name of this dungeon. Remember to collect a ton of keys. And again, the game doesn't touch you at a fire rod here, so the single eyeballs go down in 1 hit each. The combined eyes, you can damage them with the fire rod. You do have to finish them off with a sword dash still, though.
Mm-hmm.
What was that?
Needs more cowbell.
This is the one time we're going to see the owl in this run. I could screen warp through the room, but I have to backtrack through here, so I'd have to do it twice, and then I'd have to do another screen warp from the water, all to avoid that kind of short text box. If I screen warp into the room, he'll fly off the screen before he starts talking, and you'll save the frames of having to watch him fly away afterward.
Because he flies in and flies out on top of his really obnoxious text box. And he goes hoot hoot at the end, so that's my favorite part. He goes hoot hoot.
Hoot. Yeah, it's also not the same owl as in the rest of the series.
It's not Kabora Gabora.
Yeah,
because
it's just Mr. Generic Owl.
Yeah, he's the he's basically the voice box of the windfish. So
Let me know if I can read a donation.
Yep.
All right. Radman has donated $10. Was going to troll Ultima and counter his dog mobile donation, but other incentives that need to be met. 5 to X6 Extreme and 5 to more players on TMNT. We need to see these. You do need to see this TMNT 4-player run.
Oh, come on. Why do I not have the beats on? There we go. Three. Let's make 6.
it's totally worth that money, though. It's a really hard category.
Yeah, $52 more for X6 Extreme, and then $45 more for more players on TMNT.
Now we're headed to Dungeon 2 next, and if you've played this game before, you probably realize this already kind of is Dungeon 2, but we are still in the counter world. I need to find the staircase to fix the dungeon with. And then whenever I watch casual playthroughs of this game, I need not this. I forgot to grab a pot here. When I watch casual playthroughs of this exact room is where people tend to get stuck. Because you have to clear the enemies in a certain order to spawn the nightmare.
This took me forever to find out when I first played it.
I can't remember if there's a hint or something in this dungeon.
There is. If you go and find the stone slab or the owl beak.
Yeah, that's what it is.
It will tell you the order. But it uses the enemy names. If you don't have the instruction manual and you're not familiar with the series, you're going to have no idea which one of those is the Pole's voice, which one is the whatever the
Stalfos.
Yeah.
Start with the Pole's voice and then end with the
helpful.
Stalfos.
So it basically tells you the first and the third, and then obviously the last one after is the second. I always called it the bat and the rabbit and the farmer because there are two other animals. Yeah, I didn't know what to call. I didn't know the name, and I just tried different patterns until I got it. And then when I would play the game over and over and over, I would just be like, all right, rabbit, bat, farmer. Or, I don't remember the order, but that's what I would call it. So I was like, he has a little farm because the rabbit is in the thing and the bat's flying out. So I thought it was an appropriate name, calling him a farmer.
Now, this boss has, as a matter of fact, got it. This boss has a ton of health for being a Dungeon 2 boss. Like, you'll come in with 4, maybe 5 hearts, and he has way, way more health than that. But if you throw his bottle out of bounds, it breaks immediately. Then I missed the rebound on the fire rod.
Dang.
But you can use the fire rod or a bomb arrow to knock him back into a bomb that you drop immediately after you menu, and you can take him out in one attack that way.
When I was learning to speedrun this game, I was really poor at that, doing him. So I would start in the very top left corner, and I would go all the way down and around when he threw his fire, and by the time I got to the top of the right, he'd be done, so I could pick him up and throw him. And that was the only way I could do it, because I was really bad at dodging it any other way.
Yeah.
So I learned it that way, and people would watch it, and they'd be like, what are you doing? I'm like, I'm really bad at this. Please bear with me. But there is a little bitty side quest you have to do to defeat some goblins to pick up Bow Bow, and he eats those flowers for you to get in there normally. So
yeah, but the fire rod also takes him out, and that's one of the first items we get. But we just going through the kennel world anyway. Did I lose? I did. I'll pick up another one.
When you do different things, I like to be like, yeah, this is how casuals do it. Like,
yeah,
you're interested. This is how you do it the hard way. There's a lot of this stuff that was patched out when it came to America, and then when they did DX, there was so much gone after one version. I'm pretty sure there's one version of DX where there are some skips and stuff in it, but there's less than this version.
Yeah, I think when I know they patched out the super jumps, which are like a huge deal.
Yeah, you can't super jump if you have after like the first patch version of. I know DX for sure, because when I was first playing this game, I wanted to play this version, and then tons of old ladies.
Yep,
I talked to the community, and they were like, "No, you need to play DX," and I'm like, "Okay." And then I have a version of DX, and I was like, "Okay, but I can't do the super jump." They're like, "You have the wrong version." I'm like, "I don't know what to do."
Yeah, this game is very, very version dependent.
Yeah, it is one of those kind of games. So it's super specific. It's not. I mean, it is a game you can pick up and learn the runs if you want to do it the hard way without like these glitches and screen warping.
Yeah, and most people definitely. I think I'm the only person running this particular category with all of these glitching and screen warping and things like that. The mainstream category is no out of bounds, no save and quit, no wrong warps, which is pretty much most of this run.
Yeah, you can't do can't do the dog kennel, can't do all the actual cool fun stuff where we look like we're breaking the game.
Which we are.
In a way, I guess. I love this one because when I watched this, when he submitted this, I was like, I've never heard of this, and I've never seen somebody do just plain Link's Awakening. I was watching this, and I saw some of the warps where like some of the sprites were different, and I was like, all right, yeah, gotta have this. Gotta have this. This is too good. It's priceless. This is gold. So the whole point of this game is I'm not going to spoil the end, but you're supposed to collect all of the instruments to wake the windfish, and so that's why at the end of each dungeon, he picks up a different instrument, because now he will have to go to the mountain. And normally you're supposed to stand at the mountain, and the owl's like, "Oh my gosh, you found all of them. You must be, the person here to wake the windfish." And then all the instruments come out and they play, and you're allowed into the dungeon. And it's actually really cool because they play the song with all the instruments instead of them individually. So you have all the pieces that you heard all together. So we're going to do more screen warping.
Yeah.
screen jumping.
Because playing the instruments, getting up to mountain, that all takes a lot of time. And if you look at the inventory here, I'm still missing a couple of things. I'm missing one piece of heart, and I'm missing one of the dungeon keys for Dungeon 6. And I've already beaten Dungeon 6, but I still need to pick up the key. This should be good. The last piece of heart. This is the one that's at the bottom of the well. The well is just right next to this lady's house, apparently. And then we're going to be cutting through a house one more time to go get the Dungeon 6 key out of the Armo Shrine.
I love naming the kid in this one. She's like, what do I do with him? And I'm like, you don't know how to take care of your kid? I'm kind of concerned.
Yoshi is also in the game. Now that I think about it, it's another cameo in this game. The first part of the trading sequence is you find a stuffed Yoshi doll for the baby.
You win it at the Drop Claw game. It's at the bottom of the first area, so it's 2 screens below the shop where he stole things and became a thief. There's a Drop Claw game where you get the dude, I think, 20 rupees, and you get to play a Drop Claw game, and based on where you get the claw drop, as they're moving on the conveyor belt, you pick up the doll, and that starts that sequence.
See, right here is, again, screen warping's not frame perfect, unless you want to get through the wall. It just keeps moving a little bit. There we go, that'll work.
May I make a statement real quick?
Yes.
Just so everyone is aware that the donation total for the Turtles in Time Arcade, that's the original arcade game from around the late 80s, early 90s.
Okay.
It is not Turtles in Time.
Yeah, that's a different game that will be later. While Turtles in Time will also be the arcade version, it is not the same game. That's basically 1 versus 4. So those are 2 different games. Actually, I had quite a few people ask me about that. They're like, I see this on the list in the schedule. I'm like, no, they're different
chat's
games.
arguing about it.
No, they're different games, I can promise you. I looked into it when I did all the sheets. Because I saw it and I was like, are they the same game? I looked it up. Like, it took me like an hour to figure it out. But they are different games. The one for Vespers is 1, and the one that Pixie is playing Turtles in Time is 4.
That is the bot quick kill. It's exactly as goofy as it looks. You time your spin slash. You slash upward to get your sword stuck in him, and you wiggle until he runs out of hit points. Even if you drop the quick kill there, the longer you wiggle, it actually does different points of damage. Like, normally you want to throw 3 hits of powder on him. You might only have to use powder once or twice, depending on how good your wiggling is. This is Maganin. We see this guy in a lot of different boss fight finales. He's just as frustrating here as anywhere else. It's 50-50 whether or not whatever he throws at me can actually be shot back at him.
He's not.
And there's nothing I can do. All I can do is stand here and wait with my 2 lousy hearts. There we go.
There's not really like a visual indicator or anything. They all look the same, so you just have to hit it and hope.
Yeah, you have to wait for it to actually start, which is why I'm giving.
Ooh, ouch.
Which is why I'm trying to give him a wide berth here, because I don't have the extra hearts to play with. Yep, I missed it. He's gonna troll me for a little bit now.
He's kind of annoying. The magician.
I'm gonna try and get the. There we go. This is the second quick
kill.
kill.
Different names. I like
if you time that spin slash this right, you can just keep slashing and keep him stun locked there. And with the level 2 sword and sword dashing, we're going really quickly here. Which just leaves, I believe this one's called Dot. And he goes down to 1 hit to anything. And that leaves Thethel. And you can keep him pinned against the back wall if you are brave and just kind of stay in his face. And then 1 hit from the boomerang will kill this guy. The hitbox is just miserable with the boomerang. You can also use 16 arrows. If you're crazy... I had to dodge. If you're crazy, you can drop 16 bombs on him as well. And we're coming up on time here when the screen changes and fades to white. Hello, there we go. And time.
59-19.
Nice.
Very nice.
Hoot hoot.
That's the only line I get out of the Japanese ear.
It's the same in the English. It's easy to see. Either begins and ends with hoot hoot.
And because we steal from the shop, and you have to take that death from stealing from the shop, you cannot get the super secret, fancy, extra extended ending in the credits. That's a couple of extra seconds of Marin flying away from the island that she always dreamed to.
The windfish, yeah, I call him a whalefish. So since this is in Japanese and you can't read it, this has all been a dream of the windfish. This entire island, all these people, all the dungeons and everything is a dream of the windfish. And he was locked away, his kind of like not in a coma, but it was all set up by the instruments. The instruments kept him asleep. So once you play all the instruments, now everything fades away. That's what the owl is explaining. He's like, oh, you unlocked it and you woke the windfish, and now the island will fade because you were originally, quote unquote, washed up here. It's really, I don't want to say like it's a controversy of how he actually got there. It's kind of like it was solid enough that it was there. But now that the windfish is there, his powers don't keep the island anymore. So now the island fades away. And at the end here, you'll see Link just floating on a little raft.
Mm-hmm.
And everything goes away. And it's actually kind of sad because it's a really cute, really homey kind of place. It's an island. Everybody knows everybody. It's like the island and the songs and the people. It's really great. And then you're like, oh, just kidding. It's a dream. You're hallucinating on a raft. Like, sorry.
Yeah, you're still out in the middle of the ocean somewhere with no boat.
Yeah, you're just on a piece of wood. Like it's like the Titanic, except for at least you get to be on it on your own. No woman's gonna kick you off this time.
Was there room for both of them?
What was there really?
Titanic.
Was there really? That's the great
asking.
debate. Yeah.
If there actually was.
Yeah, there's like forever
problem
ago,
is
a bunch
the
of
buoyancy,
people
right?
who like had like science, like high science degrees, did like a bunch of sciencey math stuff, and was like, yeah, there was totally enough room for them on both of it. Like that's BS, dude. Like no, and broke my heart. How dare she survive and he drowned?
Now, if you're interested in learning to speedrun this game, I'm still working on this particular route, and this is kind of my baby. I'm the only one really running the game this way. But the community for Link's Awakening is very, very helpful. They've been very active lately. A lot of the world records for the mainstream categories have been broken just this week, even.
Mm-hmm.
And
still very active community.
You still have a couple of glitches and things to work with in those mainstream categories, so it's not just a glitchless playthrough if that's not something that's your style. But speedrun.com, I think it's LADX. You can look up Link's Awakening there to get access to the Discord and start meeting people and learning more about that. There are also fantastic guides out there, including got the save state test packs to help you learn, as well as I remember picking up I think somebody made like a bunch of flashcards that very, very detailedly explain how to do the glitches. That was very, very helpful. There is also, if you're interested in like the super like ace categories where you're manipulating memory and things like that, there is an ace category for this where you can beat the game in like 2 minutes and change, I think.
Yeah, something like right under 2:30. If I'm not mistaken.
I think you pick up the sword and then you go into Kennel World and you pop a chest and the credits will play. And that's it. That's the whole run.
Yeah, it's like, oh, let's just add a bunch of numbers and you're at the end.
I tried for a long time to pick up this game swordless. You cannot defeat the final boss rush without the sword. So I figured I'd combine the two categories, go pick up everything except the sword, and then do the ace glitch. But the ace glitch gets broken by picking up an instrument. If you pick up the power bracelet, it doesn't work. Pick up the feather, it doesn't work. It's a very specific glitch. So swordless for this game's not quite within reach yet. It's where it is worth. I think Zelda 1 is if you play swordless, you play right up to the Ganon room, and that's time. I like seeing credits at some point.
Yeah, actually defeating the boss and being like, haha, it's just a dream. You're crazy.
But that is it. Credits rolled, the end. No
We don't
question
get to
mark.
see- we
no
don't get to
question
see
mark.
the-
It is just the end.
We don't get to see the windfish flying across the screen
No.
because we were bad and we stole. We're bad people.